She's very funny. Mela Shea, everybody. Mela.
Oh my God, you guys, you've just witnessed something that's never happened to me. Not only are there other girls on the show, that one was also tall. So I have to tell her. I have a twin sister, but she is fraternal. And I also have cerebral palsy, surprise. I don't have it that bad. So I can get cheap bus tickets, but I can't get Rockstar parking. I don't have the type of disability that could sue you and win. You can discriminate against me on job interviews, and no one will know. It's true. They won't hire me to do acting jobs. They'd rather hire someone to play me who doesn't have a disability. Do you know how fucked up that is? Like, when are we gonna break through that glass ceiling? I'd really like to know. Because if you don't have cerebral palsy, Kevin Bacon, why are you in The Usual Suspects? Kaiser Sose, get the fuck out of here, you're not a pedophile. Yeah, so my twin sister, she does not have a cerebral palsy, she doesn't have a disability, which is lucky for her because if she did, it would just be, if she looked like me, if we were identical, and she didn't have cerebral palsy, it would just be looking at my potential the whole time. So I'd also have to kill her, because I'd have to be the one that prevailed. So you guys, I grew up in a really shitty household. I've started talking about this on my sets, but it's like, obviously, I'm a comic. I have the sickness to go up and talk to strangers for 5 minutes. Do you know, like, if you started doing that just randomly, like, people do that on the subway, like, you know, and everybody's like, oh my God! But you come here and willingly pay attention to randos. So funny. And you pay money to do it too. Anyway, yeah, so do you know, like, in the LGBT community, they judge each other, right? That also happens in the disability community. One time I went to a disability support group, and that was the one and only time I ever went. Because they were talking about how they had trouble, like, buttoning their shirts and, like, finding people to date. And I was like, I got dudes lined up around the fucking block. And I also went running with my dog this morning. I think I'll see myself out. I don't know what happened when I turned 30. Like, it was way better immediately than my 20s. Does that happen to anybody else? Does this happen when you turn 40 as well?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm so looking forward to it. So the people from London, my ex is here, he's also English, and I had to say that because it's hilarious to me, because every time I would point out to him somebody that had an English accent, he'd be like, Mela, we do not do that. Stop doing this annoying thing. And I'm like, well, Americans do that all the time. When we see each other in other countries, we're like, where are you from? And they're like, Boston. And I'm like, Pennsylvania. They're like, great, bye. That's all it takes. Like, we don't talk beyond that, but we definitely acknowledge. But people from England are like, avoid eye contact at all times. That's really funny because when we were together, I went there to England like 5 times. And so let me explain something to you guys. England is a lot older than America, and they have a lot more nuances in their communication, okay? This is true, correct? So they love to insult you to the way that you find out 10 minutes later. Yes. And when I was on this, they call it tubes, like their subway, but it's a lot more comfortable, but it's a lot more expensive. But the seats have cushions. So I'm like, I don't care, you can charge me 10 pounds. You have cushions. Anyway, the point is, I was sitting on the tube listening to these like professors talk about their students, And before, like the time before, I'd be like, oh, they're so nice. They're just discussing their lesson plans. And this time I was like, they are taking the piss, which means insulting. They're students right now, like brutally. They're like, Marcus, he just doesn't turn his stuff in on time. I don't know. He's going to bin it. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, this is depressing. Yeah. So I have a pretty, my dad's a psychopath. So my comfort zone is when somebody's screaming at my face and spitting at me. Yeah, depressing, right? No, but so that means I can talk to anyone at any time, and it doesn't matter their reaction. If they're upset, I'm like, yeah, let's go with it. I'm with it. I'm ready. And people are always like, Mela, that dude was ready to hit you, and I was like, that's what I'm going for. I just got the emotional abuse. I need to experience the physical abuse. I need to get the full Yahtzee, full experience. Yeah, you can tell I'm a huge weirdo. Anyway, that's my time. I have to go. Thank you so much.